Hello and welcome back everyone, I'm Day-Glo Buffalo and this is Let's Play Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars, the director's cut. When we last left off... good question. We had fixed the glass washer in the pub, and now we were looking for a rope, a ladder or something to be able to climb down into the pub's cellar. But no luck over here. We did open this grate, though. But we can't climb down. I don't know, it seems weird that there's nothing down there besides that one
lever.
lever.
I could see. I spotted Mr. Leary's flashlight easily.
Okay.
Then I noticed a flash of light. Something sparkling beneath the open trapdoor. It was Peagrim's gem, all right. A large, uncut blue stone. I guess I was already under its spell.
Did you find it?
What?
Whatever you was looking for.
Yeah. Listen, McGuire. I want you to keep this to yourself.
No problemo. Just chuck us up a crate of lager.
No way. You're not old enough.
We can sell it and make some cash.
Forget it, kid. I couldn't betray Mr. Leary's trust.
I could, for sure. That old misery guts deserves it.
If you want to do me a favor, keep a lookout for that guy in the suit.
Okay. But it'll cost you a packet of chips.
Oh, and shout if you see that Ferrari.
Well, a packet of chips is fair enough.
It was a large blue gemstone.
So now, of course... So apparently what we opened up was not a grate, but, you know, actual floor covering. And now the light's coming in. Didn't expect that. So what do we need the flashlight for now?
It was the barman's flashlight.
So let's see. Oh, of course, there's a sink, so now we have access to water.
The faucet creaked, coughed, and spewed out a stream of rusty-colored water.
Well, it doesn't have to be clean.
I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water.
Now turn it off again.
I shut off the faucet as tight as I could, but it kept on dripping.
So, we owe the kid a pack of chips.
Excuse me? Yes, sir?
But we can't buy it, so
Look, I gotta...
off we go. Now we can actually get that imprint. So, let's take this.
The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster. I eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand. Underneath, it had formed a perfect copy of the statue.
Dried very, very quickly, didn't it?
I placed my...
Wait, did we get... Got it. Got the gem that goes with the tripod. Now I just have to figure out what to do with them. Well, you also need to get the tripod first. So let's see, can we put it in there?
The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud, then silence.
That actually wasn't very silent. That was actually kind of rumbly. That evening, back in Paris. Okay, so we're not going to get any of the information? Oh no! Found part of a photograph which links my father directly with Carchon. He was part of Carchon's organization, a fascist involved in war atrocities. Can it really be true? Papa is the link to this whole business. Was he the real reason why Carchon asked to meet me? I hope George, because he's American. I hope George does come over. But this part of the story must remain my own terrible secret. Well, you sent him to Ireland. How's he gonna come over? So apparently we have a message now that I guess we didn't pick up the phone.
I had messages waiting to be played.
You have 3 messages.
Hey, Collard, it's me, your favorite editor. Guess what? I'm gonna give you a second chance. I need somebody to write the TV column. Pays lousy, so what's new? If you're interested, drop by the office. In fact, drop by the office anyway. We have to talk, Nico. That story of yours I spiked. It won't go away. You've made some dangerous enemies out there.
Hey, Nico, it's your old pal. I mean, your new pal, George. Whoa, Ireland. It's a whole different country. And I got some amazing news for you. Gem of a story, in fact. Oh, gotta go. Yeah, fella here's got a drink lined up for me. See you tomorrow, Nico. Sláinte. Yep, only here for a day and I'm speaking the lingo like a local.
Mademoiselle Coulard, this is Imelda Carchon. I wanted to thank you for being so understanding when... Come to lunch, why don't you? Tomorrow. I might have more news. There's a Monsieur Merlon coming to see me this evening. He says he knows why Pierre was murdered. In fact, he'll be here shortly. I shall let you know what he says. Goodbye, dear girl. Till tomorrow.
Merlin? Oh my God. Merlin's the killer. I better get over there and warn her now. When it came to being two-faced, Imelda was up there with the best. I owed her nothing, but I couldn't just let her die. I arrived to find the Palais Royal courtyard deserted. I only hoped that I'd beaten the assassin here. I had to warn Imelda before it was too late.
Now can we finally climb this thing?
I unhooked the first wire.
Yeah, that seems awfully dangerous because those wires probably don't have a lot of slack in them.
I released the second wire. Even with both wires removed, the statue remained upright.
Oh, we can give it a push.
If I could deconstruct this, I could deconstruct anything.
And up we go, I guess.
The plastic sheet was thick and strong. I'd need more than my hands to tear it.
Let's see. That's probably not going to help.
No.
My God, what is that flattened bullet not useful for? And we're back inside. Palais Royal, Imelda in danger. 3 messages on my answering machine. My editor, very worried about the story. George, calling from Ireland, drunk. And finally, Imelda Carchon. She said that a man called Merlin is visiting her for dinner tonight. That's Khan, the costume killer. She's in terrible danger. I have to go and warn her. Broken into Carchon's apartment. I make a great cat burglar. Why would you burgle cats? I guess she's not sitting in the front room this time. Surprisingly not. So she must be in the office.
My God, I'm too late. Imelda. Oh no.
Nico?
Don't worry, you're going to be all right.
You know that isn't true.
It was Merlin, wasn't it?
Dressed as a cavalier. How absurd. You came to warn me, didn't you?
I must be crazy.
Let me see you, Nico.
All this time you were just using me. Which one is the real Imelda?
You are an extraordinary girl. Thierry would have been so proud of you.
You didn't know my father.
So like him. Something about the eyes. I wish we'd had time to get to know each other.
She was gone. She cheated me, lied to me, used me. But why?
Another note. So now it's Imelda's turn to die. Another murder by the costume killer, Merlin or Khan, this time dressed as a cavalier. The police won't investigate. They'll just cover it up, as they have covered up all the other killings. That's not very useful information.
Even in death, Imelda looked the same. Beautiful, inscrutable. The Ice Queen alone in her ice palace.
Guess we can check out the locket.
I opened it. Inside was a tiny gold key. I took the key. I had to leave. I knew I could never return.
Okay, so where can we use the key? Is the big question. Probably nowhere in our apartment, but do we have anything that needs a key? No. So I guess we have to find where to use it.
I had no reason to go out into the night.
Aren't we gonna go see our, editor? He said he wanted to see us.
My first teddy. Never had a boyfriend as loyal as him. Undisturbed. No bugs there.
Hold on.
In the dim light, I caught the reflection of something metallic. A small, sinister-looking metal disc had been tucked under my father's box. It was a bug. Oh, chère cousine. You left me a little present. You shouldn't have.
Didn't we already find it? Like a while ago? So I guess they heard everything we talked about with George.
You don't scare me. Espèce de...
Although it must have been awfully muffled in there.
The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Carchon's.
Maybe it has a key now.
I took out the key. I couldn't believe it. Imelda's key opened my father's box. I dreaded what I was going to find inside.
A letter and a picture.
It was a photograph of Imelda. But why here? In my father's box? I felt as if a black hole had swallowed me up. Imelda and Carchon grinning, while behind them a village was being razed to the ground, its people butchered. And there, next to them, staring out at me across the years, my own father. There was a letter. I feared there was even worse to come.
Nothing left to do but read it.
Hotel St. Georges, Algiers, Friday. My darling Thierry, by the time you read this, you'll be safely out of Africa. You need not fear. Pierre and the organization do not know who you're really working for, or about us. Did you think I would betray you? I could not. You wanted me to leave him, but I don't have your courage. I know too much of what has been going on here. They would find me and they would kill us both. Enjoy your life in Paris, Thierry. Your life of honor, of patriotic duty. Do they give medals to spies? No, they'll just give you a phony job in an embassy somewhere. I could never share that with you. Imagine me, a diplomat's wife. So I must stay here with Pierre, the two of us bound together by what we have done to this country. Au revoir, my love. You will be in my heart until I die. Imelda. Suddenly everything made sense. My father had been working undercover for the government. He was one of the good guys after all. He and Imelda must have fallen in love. She'd found out who he really was, so he had to leave. It had broken her heart, but she had never revealed it to anyone. I knew I couldn't either. Whatever he was doing, he'd had good reason to keep it secret. I decided I would respect that and tell nobody.
Ah yes, being a spy by participating in war crimes. The next morning. Wow. She said
I
that
knew it was George. For a moment I was tempted to pretend that I was out, or ask him to go away and come back later. But then... Come in.
Hello, George. So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's. I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead.
And you say Pigram has disappeared?
Without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Pigram's gem?
The Templars' gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man.
So let's see.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
No, there's no picture of a hanged man here.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod.
So we don't have the tripod yet, but I don't know if we need it.
There's a guy working on a loom.
Maybe that's Montfaucon.
A knight with a crystal ball. The knight's scroll bears a phrase in Latin. Through my teachings, you will be enlightened. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
Look there, 2 guys on the same horse. What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man.
I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lopinot at the Kron Museum. And why don't you see if Rosso has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
I so much wanted to talk to George about everything that had happened, but I knew I never could. My father's connection to Africa would have to remain a secret forever. His bravery would be known only to the government and to me. Revealing it would just damage his memory. People would take the story and twist it. Before long, he would be the villain and Carchon would be the hero. I know how they do that. I'm a journalist.
So. Okay, Nico will be impressed. I figured out how to open a secret door under the castle, which revealed my next big clue, an image of a gibbet in a place called Montfaucon. I'll just join the locals for a quick beer before heading back to Paris. Paris, Montfaucon. Need to find out what Montfaucon is all about. Something to do with a hanging man. And I need to find out more about the mysterious Marquet. Okay, so she said, well, I was planning to go back to the museum, but she also said to check in with the policeman, Rosso, who is not in.
Sergeant Moo?
Yes.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur? Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
This time?
Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Okay.
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic, in the Avenue des Hérissons.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
Right. Well,
See you later, Sergeant.
the inspector's not in. Marquet's in the local hospital. I'll head right over there. What about checking in with, what's his name? Here's the hospital.
I felt a little guilty as I tried the door, like I was about to rob a grave. I gripped the handle with an involuntary tremble in my hand and pulled. The door was locked.
All this drama for nothing?
The door.
So we can talk to the lady at the computer, or to this guy with the outrageous mustache. Or we can just walk on through. Or this way.
Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Really? If you wish to make an appointment, see the receptionist.
I'm looking for a guy named Jacques Marquet.
In which department does he work?
He doesn't. He's a patient.
I see. You do realize there are strict policies regarding visiting hours, don't you?
And when would those be?
This is important. I have to talk to Marquet urgently.
We make no exceptions to the rules.
It's a matter of life and death.
The well-oiled running of this hospital is a matter of life and death. That's why we have rules.
I think I ought to warn you that Marquet is not what he seems.
Explain yourself.
He's in league with a bunch of guys who want to take over the world.
Nonsense. Besides, Marquet's employers have paid in advance for one of our most exclusive private rooms.
Could you tell me who Marquet's employers are?
Certainly not.
Well, if he works for people who want to take over the world, he might be working for Pinky and the Brain.
May I have the honor of shaking you by the hand?
You may not. I don't encourage physical contact between my staff.
I'm not your staff. Ooh, and we got our manhole opener back. So I
Thanks
guess
for your help.
let's talk to the receptionist then.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Is this the Hagenmeyer Clinic?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the plans. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature. How may I help you?
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I'm his long-lost brother.
A brother half his age with a different name and an American accent.
Yeah, people always say that. I blame Mom. We were separated at an early age. After a mix-up in the nursery at the Oakland shopping mall.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous in all my life.
I guess not. So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
Has Marquet been visited by a man in a clown costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the Bear. He comes every Thursday to entertain the children. Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
Has Marquet had a visit from a pair of gangsters?
I should hope not. Can you describe them?
A thin guy who looks like a weasel and his friend, the gorilla.
Sounds as if they escaped from the zoo.
Quite literally.
What does this gem suggest to you?
I advise you not to flash that around.
Look at this ID pass.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
For me?
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here. Now, let me see. He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2. That's Nurse Grendel's ward.
Okay, that doesn't sound promising.
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock alarm call, 6:10 bowel movements, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J. How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna. And turn left at the end. That's J2. And good luck.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
So down the left corridor.
As I turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which echoed through the corridors. It was an industrial polishing machine with an odd-looking guy in tow.
So we could talk to him, but I think we will keep that for the next part. So for now, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like or a comment below. Subscribe to stay up to date, and I will see you in the next part. So until then, have a good one.